You're in tune to the Powerhouse Radio, linking the world to the Caribbean. Disclaimer. The views and opinions expressed on the Powerhouse Radio station are those of the host, guests, and callers, are not necessarily those of this station, its management, or other hosts or advertisers. The show, found on the Powerhouse Radio station, can promote any lifestyle, belief, religion, political affiliation, or other personal practice. These shows are for entertainment purposes only and are not intended to treat, diagnose, and or claim any cure of disease or conditions. Opinions stated by various contributors to the Powerhouse Radio and its programming are not to be considered as endorsed by the Powerhouse Radio station. Visitors are urged to use their own discernment to draw their own conclusion. We emphasize the importance of keeping an open mind.
Yeah. You listen to the sounds of DJ Fourth Quarter in your ear right now. If you're in your car, if you're at home, if you're on your phone, that's right, baby.
You feeling kinda tired. Radio, same thing every day. Social media, with you side. You got to end up every night. Tune in to Powerhouse. We expect something now. You need to check them out. I promise I ain't trying to hype. The one you'll listen tonight might change your life. So what's the name of the show? You need something to just ride to on the go. Or you might be home for long gone. You can even dial in on your phone. I promise that you're gonna love it. Just try one time, it'll blow your mind. Now I'm gonna say this one more time. Every Wednesday from 7 to 9.
Good evening, good evening, good evening, good evening. It's October 27th. McKenna, how are you? Can you believe it?
Oh my goodness, it's October 27th. It's almost the end of the month. It's going to be November before we blink, and time is moving fast, I tell you. But it's been a good week. What about you? How you doing over there? Good to see you.
Thank you. Good to see you too. Your hair is looking awesome. I
Thank
love it. I
you.
love it.
Thank you.
So Marcus is running a little late.
Oh,
We were gonna do some celebrations this week, but we're gonna push it forward to next week. So
okay.
thank you for always tuning in. We just have some things exciting to talk about. And computer. I'm wondering if it's my Wi-Fi. I was having some issues earlier this week, so I apologize in advance if it does happen. But please share, like, and subscribe. So every time the shows come on, you get notification and you can join us. And if you're not able to watch us when we're live, you can definitely go back and tune in and listen to the shows prior. So we're gonna kind of hang in here for a minute. Marcus, he shouldn't be too long. But what about you, Kenna? What's you been have going on?
So let's see. This past weekend, I had an opportunity to go to lunch with one of my cousins. She recently relocated to the Metro Atlanta area, and I actually hadn't seen her in a while. We're not first or second cousins, we're more like third or fourth cousins. Her grandmother and my grandmother were cousins. So I knew who she was, but it was a great opportunity to just, sit down and get to know her as a person. And so we had a good little fellowship. And she was saying that, she hadn't been doing too much during this COVID, but she was, absolutely delighted to come hang out for lunch. And so with that being said, I'll just pepper in a half a gripe. So we go to, one of these popular brunch establishments that's been around for a while. And, we order off the menu. And, when you have a menu, there's a description of what's included with your entree. So we ordered something extremely simple. It was catfish and grits, and that came with sauteed onions, peppers, and spinach, and a drink. Absolutely nothing complex about that. So my cousin just asked a question. She said, does it come with one piece of catfish or two? That was a fair question. And so the waitress was like, I don't know. It just comes how it comes. So my cousin kind of leaned to the side, and I just gave her that "Welcome to Atlanta" look, like, don't, just it'll be all right. So the waitress, she goes and she brings our drinks back, and then she brings back our entree. So it came with two pieces of fish. So my cousin just clarified, because I think where she's used to going to brunch where you could order two pieces of fish if you wanted it, but this one actually came with two. So we just asked this simple question. We don't see any spinach, on our entree, and it says it comes with spinach, onions, peppers, and spinach sauteed in the grits. So the waitress looks real perplexed, like we said something confusing. I said, well, it's right here on this menu. And she was like, well, let me go back here and ask. Okay, so she comes back and she says, we don't have any spinach. Okay. But then she brings us, wait a minute, wait for it. She brings us a plate of sausage that has a little bit of spinach in it. So we're confused because we didn't ask for sausage. We just asked for spinach. But if the sausage has spinach in it, that means you do have spinach, right?
That's the best thing that's the closest thing you're gonna get. You better take that sausage.
So nonetheless, we had a good time, but we laughed. But it's difficult out here in these customer service streets because there are visibly and noticeably a lack of employed people. I mean, restaurants have a lack of staff, and so you could see that the staff that they did have was just struggling to keep up with basic things like knowing what's on the menu. So that's my baby gripe today. So just be patient. We weren't rude or anything, and so my cousin said we need to check this bill because I think she's going to charge us for this sausage. I said, you automatically know it's going to be on there. I said, I bet you it's $6. So lo and behold, and the second thing was she ordered a mojito. Mojito is a very standard common drink, nothing complicated about a mojito. So she comes back and she says, well, we don't have mojitos. So my question was, well, what don't you have? Because it's just and she was like, oh, we don't have the mint. I was like, okay. So my cousin, she ordered something else. So when we got the bill, we got charged for the sausage and the mojito that we didn't order. So we look at the bill, they put it down, the waitress walks away. So when she comes back around in a few minutes, I just hand her the bill. I don't say anything. And she's confused. So I just hand her the bill and wait. And so she thinks about it. So then she decides, well, let me look at this bill. So when she looks at the bill, I'm looking at her like, is she going to get it? I have to say something. Is she going to get it? And she was like, oh, the mojito. And we were like, and she was like, the sausage. That's all. The end. Thanks for listening.
So in other words, that's pretty much because of the shortage that is going on with the workers, why they just don't care.
So I'm attributing it to the shortage, but in actuality, if you just paid just a little bit of attention, like, you typed in the mojito, so that means you didn't go back and cancel it. You didn't bring it because you told us you didn't have it. And you had to type in the sausage that we actually didn't ask for. All we asked for was the spinach that came with the onions and peppers and spinach on top of our grits.
She cussed the cook out. If it was Waffle House, it'd have been cool because she would just cuss the cook out in front of everybody.
In front of everybody, because that's the culture at Waffle House. Like,
yeah. But see, she had to go back out there by herself, so y'all didn't know what was going on.
We didn't know.
But the cook was definitely like, well, she wants some spinach. We got some sausage with the spinach in it. Let's just give her that. That's what it was.
That's what it sounded like to me.
And then charge me for it. So check your orders. If you're going to dine out on this Sunday brunch, enjoy the food. The food was good, but just check your receipt. They're going to add that 18% gratuity. That's just standard practice these days.
I do notice that they are doing that lately. Wow.
Oh, yeah. It's on the menu too. Some of the menus are even bold enough to put it in italics letters. 18% gratuity included on all checks.
So in other words, no more you leave what you feel like it.
Wow. They're going like that now?
Mm-hmm.
And it's not even that receipt. How sometimes they'll send you the receipt that it has it on there, but it still has the line for you to kind of sign for it. Yeah, this receipt, there was no additional line. It was just included. So it wasn't like I could scratch it, not included. It was already tabulated. It was tabulated.
And I went somewhere, and I think it was when I was in Vegas. I think it was they added the tip in there, and then they still had a place for you to add more tips. Really?
Oh,
Hey
yeah.
Kim, how you doing? Thanks for joining us.
What up? What up, Kim?
Kim, I didn't name the establishment. I was just talking about it, but I didn't name the establishment.
You're on mute.
Thank you so much for tuning in, Conroy. Please like and share. Go ahead and text it to your friends. Send it all out. So I don't have a gripe tonight. I have something to share. And so let me get that out. Drum roll, drum roll, drum roll. Okay, okay, okay. Okay, so how about at my my other job, I had a customer. I was talking to them, and it was something happened, and I was like, I understood the assignment. And he started rolling, okay? Because he was in his 30s. I said, oh, you didn't think I know nothing about that? I said, listen, I am a tika-taka, okay? So, of course. And he was just rolling, and I was like, yeah, but my nieces and nephew, I don't think they're taking it lightly, because my niece, who is 10 years old, she did see me last Saturday, and she did, Auntie, really? You be on TikTok like that for real? I said, what you mean? She's like, I was like, excuse me, just get ready, okay? Because yes, you shouldn't have introduced me to it. They introduced me to it, so blame them. But it was so funny because I'm like using these little terms now. And I said, my customer was rolling. I said, you didn't expect that? He was like, no. I said, yeah, neither does my nieces and nephew at this time. They looking at me like, for real, for real. But really and truly, it is fun. It is something that I do. I do a lot of it to definitely promote the Powerhouse Radio as well as our show. So that's why I do it, and I have fun. So it was funny. I did one where it's like someone, like you're doing something, you can pretend that you're doing whatever, and someone knocks the door and was like, "What are you doing?" So and then because it's a voiceover, and you says drugs. I laughed. I was like, what if one of my coworkers see like, hey, I think you need to send her over there. But it was so funny. So what I decided to do was I went into my the china cabinet where we have so much alcohol in there, right? So, and I was like, can't drink in peace. So it was so funny. So I had the camera, and I'm like in there, and then the door knocked, and I pulled out, and I was like, and then you hear the voiceover, it's like, what are you doing in there? And I was like, drugs. So my friends and family was like, listen, you having too much fun with this. So even Lady D at the Powerhouse Radio, she gonna look at me like this. She was like, somebody please take her phone. Even if they take my phone, I got my iPad. You know what I'm saying? But it's just fun. So anyway, what I'm actually going to share is anyone that knows me, I always like donating, charity, volunteering, doing things like that. So I got involved with the organization. It's the Atlanta Jamaican Association. They do a lot of fundraising to issue, grants to even people in the United States, Jamaican descent, or even not. So you don't have to be a Jamaican, born in Jamaica or have Jamaican parents to be a part of the association. However, I am a member, and also I am actually part of the body. I'm not going to say what I do yet. However, they are having an event next Saturday, November 6th, at the park. They asked me to be the MC.
Oh, that's what's up. That's dope. That's dope.
You gonna come, Marcus? You coming?
Yeah.
Let's
give me a little dirty wine.
Yeah. Whoa. Dirty wine, dirty wine, dirty wine. Look at McKenna in the Yes, that's what I'm talking about. I was saying it too. I was like, I'm asking you guys if you want to come, we can really turn up. But yes, so basically, It's a Powerhouse Radio. We definitely gonna have, because yeah, so always gonna be promoting and always but really and truly, if you like giving back, so you don't have to be a Jamaican to come and hang out with us and give, donations and so forth, because it's going towards hospitals, clinic. Thank you, Kim. Infirmaries, for the school, even like the children home. So it's just so much. So the event is called Big Up Your Parish in the Park. So Jamaica, like how in America, Georgia, for example, we have counties, Clayton County, Gwinnett County. In Jamaica, they're called parishes and so forth. So with you guys hanging with me, you could be my parish, which is Portland. I have ties there. So basically what it is, we're going to have like games, refreshments and so forth. No charge, just donations. So it's Saturday, November 6th, 2 p.m. to 7 p.m. at the Wade Walker Park. That's in Stone Mountain. So you can either Google it, or the address is 5585 Rockridge Road, Stone Mountain, Georgia, 30088. That's Pavilion 1. Also, gonna have Lady DC, if she can put it on our website, or even scroll at the bottom and but guys, you got to come out and support not only the foundation, but also your girl and Marcus, and hopefully McKenna can come and hang out with us at the Way Walker Park. I'm so excited because I get to do something that I love too. I love doing this as as our show, plus MCing, but most of all being a part of a association that you actually give back. So I'm excited. I'm super, super, super excited. So guys, please come join us.
So Tony, I'm very excited about your endeavor. I'm actually going to be out of town next week, but I just want to know what type of donations are you taking so we can share that with your listeners, and then also maybe we can meet up and I can donate something before I leave. So what type of donations is the organization accepting?
Well, pretty much right now, cash donations, because they're going to be helping out with sending like tablets for the schools that are still doing virtual, medical supplies for hospital, because I don't know if you've heard last year that a lot of hospitals, they didn't have a lot of equipment, especially oxygen and ventilators and so forth. So any amount right now is cash donation, and also you can actually donate to the parish project at www.AtlantaJamaicanAssociation.org/donate. And if you're donating on the behalf of Tonya, you definitely want to donate to the Portland Parish, because that's who I'm representing. And so again, it's going to be something. And of course, if I have something to do with it, for sure I'm going to make sure things happen. So again, I finally get to do another thing that I want to do. This was one of the first one, the powerhouseradio.com. The 30th is going to make 2 years for Let's Gripe. We was going to celebrate this week, but we're going to do it next week, because I was doing so much and I was like, okay, I didn't get to do, because I do have some plaques for my co-hosts. So next Wednesday, I did reach out to, of course, our alumni, Nikki. She's going to join us. First, I told her it was this week, so hopefully she can make it next week. But again, guys, thank you so much for tuning in every Wednesday. We definitely could not do without you guys. Okay, so Kim want me to repeat the site, I guess, so she could type it in the comments. All right, so that's www.AtlantaJamaicanAssociation.org/donate. And you will select the Portland Parish, representing Tonya. I'm from Let's Gripe at thepowerhouseradio.com. So I'm so excited, guys. And that leads to always, whatever you want to do, because right now I have 27 followers on TikTok. And I have not, don't be laughing at me, McKenna. I have not solicited anyone though. So that's cool. I think it's cool. I decided not to solicit anyone, follow people so they can follow me. But I just decided to say, okay, let me just do what. And I've been getting likes and comments from people I don't know. So I'm okay. But leading to say that whatever is it that you want to do, don't let people supporting you stop you from doing it. Last Saturday, I went to an event with Kim. She invited me. She was a sponsor of the event. She was actually promoting her business, which she does health and life insurance. If you want more information, reach out to me. I got you. And she also wanted me to come, not just to support her, but she also wanted me to come and give out my business card for my real estate business.
No.
So again, sharing, each one teach one. So again, it's okay. Let's look out for each other, support each other. And it was really nice. The foundation that she did the event with is really good. So again, guys, whatever it is that your heart desires, don't let it stop. And the Braves could tell you. Marcus, go on and let's talk about them Braves.
Oh no, I was going to say the wrong, but I was going to say the old chant, but let me not do that no more. The climate has changed. Back in Atlanta Fulton County Stadium, we used to do with the tomahawking and stuff. But congrats to the Braves, man. They won game 1. I think game 2 is tonight. They're in the World Series, and like I told you, I think we talked about this last time. I had no idea they were going to be here. They were thinking about really shutting it down. They were like, not shutting it down, but for a season as fans, we were kind of like, well, we just get them next year. And I think it's a great accomplishment for them to be right here in the World Series, taking game 1 with a really good chance to pull it off. It's been a long time since the Braves won a World Series. For those of us that were here in the 90s, as I mentioned before, in Atlanta Fulton County Stadium, to go to some of those games, for the 90s, that was the Braves decade. They won a tremendous amount and only won one World Series out of that whole time that they went. So it'd be a great accomplishment, and I know the city be rocking, especially if they won.
Thanks for that update, Marcus. I just wanted to circle back on what Tony was talking about just participating in community activities. And I think it's a great reminder that there's so many organizations out there that need volunteers. So if you have an interest and you're just sitting around idle and you're thinking about, well, what can I do? Get involved in an organization. Organizations always need volunteers, and they're always looking for people to support them. So I think, Tony, that was a great reminder of, the opportunities that are out there to support different organizations. And then the second thing is that TikTok. TikTok is excellent therapy. It is the most therapeutic thing that you could do if you need a giggle, if you need a laugh, if you need to hear people just be creative. There are some phenomenal singers on TikTok. Like I just happen to, and I don't do TikTok very often. I don't have a real account. I have an account where I can just see what people are doing, but I don't have an account where people can follow me. But I just know that scrolling through there, sometimes you hear people with these amazing voices that are out there singing, and they do these, I don't even know what it's called, where you sing and then I sing with you, and I share, like I see you in the background and I'm over here singing with you. Some real fascinating parodies. And I watched one the other day, and he was singing about, and his song said, "Why money don't grow on trees." Listen, I was over here crying because he was super duper serious. He was like, "Why money don't grow on trees?" And then he sang it, and then somebody else copied it, and they were singing like with him. And I was over here I probably spent 20 minutes watching 15 different "Why Money Don't Grow on Trees" videos, and it's
Me too.
super duper.
I watched that same video.
Man, listen, he was super duper serious, and I was like, "Why money don't grow on trees?" And everybody had their own verse. Man, listen. So, Tonya, what they say, big ups to your TikTok career. I hope that it catches some momentum. And if I see you on there, I'll make sure I'll try to like it. But yes. Mhm.
Did you give out your TikTok handle for people to follow?
She didn't. I'm listening.
I actually didn't. My TikTok is sexy underscore TATA, sexy Tata. Yes.
She said what she said, y'all. Y'all heard it.
Yes, with the hair moving back. Yes. So yes, that's my TikTok. It's sexy underscore Tata. So you could definitely, follow, like, just something fun. And like you said, it is very, very helpful. So
I read this article, and I have a tad bit of a gripe about this article. This article says the 18 worst things that you can buy from the Dollar Tree. Who's writing this article about the Dollar Tree? If you go to the Dollar Tree, you're not looking for quality products. You're looking for $1 worth of quality in this product. And you're satisfied if it's one use only because clearly you went to the Dollar Tree. If you buy toilet paper from the Dollar Tree, you're not expecting Charmin quality toilet paper because you're at the Dollar Tree. You might be on vacation. You might just want to put it in the backseat of your car because you're going to a picnic. If you're buying paper towels from the Dollar Tree, you're not expecting Bounty quality paper towels from the Dollar Tree. If you buy batteries from the Dollar Tree, this is not the Duracell or the Eveready battery. So when I read this, when I read the heading for this article, I was like, who took the time to describe 18? They put 18 things in here that you should not buy from the Dollar Tree. They said toys. If you're buying toys from the Dollar Tree, this is one use only toys, and you don't mind if the toys get lost because you only spent $1 on the item. So
Folks be thinking they coming up though.
At the Dollar Tree? Come on, sir. Come on. 18 batteries, beauty. They put steak on here. Steak is on here. Now, I know some of the Dollar Trees, a lot of the Dollar Trees have a food section, and you can buy food at the Dollar Tree. And it says if you buy a 3.5 ounce steak from the Dollar Tree, it's going to be thin. Of course, it's going to be thin. It's the dollar. I'm just saying. They said, don't buy Dollar Tree steak. What? Huh?
They're just gonna get $1 worth of steak. What's wrong with that?
What? I think we're running out of things to write about. Tonia, you look like you have something you want to add to that.
I didn't know Dollar Tree sells steak.
You better get you some.
Because I was looking at some in Publix the other day, and I just wanted one.
You wanted $1 worth.
It was
you just wanted $1 worth of
$23.
steak. You could go to Dollar Tree and get you $1 worth of steak. It's gonna be thin.
$23 worth of steak, and yes, and I could do two. I could cook for them for one person. That's $4.
Okay.
We can make it
They
work.
said don't buy tools from the Dollar Tree. I mean, if you go to the Dollar Tree and buy a hammer, now you already know that it's going to be $1 worth of a hammer. This is not the hammer that you're going to use. This is the hammer that you use when you're at the Airbnb and something fell down. You need to go and just fix it real quick. This is not the hammer that you use to
not
build
to buy a hammer for Father's Day for Marcus. Is that what you're saying?
Not from the Dollar Tree. Not from the Dollar Tree. Absolutely not from the Dollar Tree. Yes, and I just really thought that was hilarious. They also say don't buy jewelry from the Dollar Tree. Skip jewelry unless it's costume. What other kind of jewelry are you going to buy at the Dollar Tree?
They sell gold for $1 because if they do,
man,
I'm about to go.
I'll meet you at Camp Creek.
They said
Make
do
sure.
not buy jewelry because unless it's costume. I thought
Right.
that's what you would get from the dollar store, the little
Little
butterfly
earring.
earrings that get stuck in your hair and then it,
Yeah, and the little bracelet that's gonna pop after you wear it. I mean, it's a stocking stuffer for a 12-year-old. I'm just saying, it's just jewelry from the Dollar Tree. They also say don't buy plasticware
I
from the
I am
Dollar
a
Tree. Confused.
I'm confused about the plasticware because they're plastic. Paper, I mean the forks, is that what?
They were
No?
actually talking about the leftover storage containers because they were saying that they may not be whatever BPA stands for friendly, and that if you microwave it, it might not be safe.
I saw the Betty Crocker there.
Me too. I think they were really throwing some shade on the Dollar Tree.
You know what? That might have been Walmart. I'm saying that it sounds like somebody trying to sabotage.
The Dollar Tree. I'm just saying.
It
So,
sounds
Tonya, if
like
next week when you want you $1 worth of steak, go to that Dollar Tree that sells steak and get you $1 worth of steak and put some seasoning on it and marinate it and put it in the pan and let us know how it tastes.
so you want me to be the victim. Is that what it is, Marcus?
I
She
don't-
said, didn't I tell you I had something to do next Saturday? Didn't I told you I need to be at Wade Water Park, not at the hospital getting my stomach pumped? Didn't I?
It's just a thin piece of steak is all it is. It's just like a thin, it's probably just enough for a sandwich. It's probably not even enough for a knife and a fork. You probably could just put that on a piece of bread and call that a sandwich.
I'm gonna let that stay because really and truly, I think it was someone told me they buy the beef patty from the dollar store, and they said it's really good and it tastes like the real one. But I was even I don't even go in the freezer department. I go into the Dollar Tree. What I will tell you I will buy is the aluminum foil pan. I buy those. I do go in there and I will buy the awesome. So there are things that I will buy in there and the little bathroom trash bag, like for your bathroom, because I'm telling you, don't even drop the little bar soap in there because it's that thin. But bathroom garbage, you don't put nothing in there but paper towel when you wash your hands or maybe toilet paper. So I buy those things, but I dare not to really. And if it's just, trying to show my face with something, I might buy a little card there. But like for someone that special to me, I won't buy a birthday card from the Dollar Tree. But food, no, because I'm pretty much worried about the expiration date on it. So I don't know. I passed the freezer. It's okay. I won't buy the steak from there. I'll just continue not to buy steak. How about that?
You just
That's
talked
not in
yourself
my
out of it, huh?
yeah, because that's not in my budget. Real estate, no. Hello, hello, hello. How are you? Thank you for tuning in to the Let's Gripe show. So, okay, so what else? I think I saw a post on Instagram and I wanted to hear what my colleagues had to say about this. Um, uh, did I freeze? I am so sorry. Went out for a minute. So, okay. So Tammy Roman, from the Basketball Wives, she posted a question. basically, McKenna MG, and to our listeners, you can definitely chime in, with your comments. She says, if you met the perfect mate, I mean, you really feel this is the one, then they ask you to be a part of a public, what is it? Say that word for me.
Polygamous.
Yes, relationship, that one right there, with 2 other women. All bills paid, car paid off, and $2,500 a month, siphoned with Tuesday and Thursday as your relationship days. Would you share?
I feel like I'm not qualified to answer this question because I'm not a woman.
What if a
But
woman? What if? Let's turn it around, because women nowadays are doing those things too as well.
I mean, if I'm a single man, I want to know the stipulations of 25 a month and everything paid off, all expenses paid.
And you get Tuesday and Thursday as your relationship days.
I'm definitely sitting at the table like, hey, lay it out for me. What's in writing so I can read, because I can look over this contract, because it sounds kind of too good to be true.
I mean, it's an interesting question. And I guess it just depends on where you are in your relationship needs. If you're saying that this is the one, is your idea of being the one meaning that you only want to be the only one? Or are you saying that you're open to the arrangement? Some people say, they've done more for less. And so this person is saying, I'm not tiptoeing around the issue. I'm communicating directly with you and letting you know what the stipulation is. So this is not me just not being available Monday, Wednesday, and Friday, and you only hear from me on Tuesdays and Thursdays. This is me saying Tuesdays and Thursdays are your designated day, and you have full access to me on Tuesdays and Thursdays, full disclosure. And in addition to Tuesdays and Thursdays, I will also throw in, like on The Price is Right, a free paid car and some spending money. And if that works for you, then let's go. And if it doesn't, all right. But I already told you what it is, so don't come in my inbox or, texting me on Wednesday talking about, I ain't heard from you. I already told you what it was. So I really appreciate the directness. But the thing about it is, it's not real. Well, I won't say it's not real. It's rare that people communicate that directly about what they're willing to offer. And I think if more people did that, then there would be fewer I bust the window out your car scenarios, because we had the conversation in advance. And then you had the opportunity to fully consent or reject it.
I think there are a lot of polygamous relationships out there. People just might not know about it because they might not dive too far into people's business and stuff like that. But it's a lot of them I've met from all different cultures. I've met some people that do polygamous relationship that are white, black, whatever, and it works for them. Like you say, it's not going to be for everyone. It really is depending on what your life is like, as you said, McKenna. What your life is like. But some people who are on the go, who got to do this and got to do that, it's probably a perfect arrangement. You have a time frame that you have to designate. It's almost like date night. You know what I mean? Like if you're a couple and you have date night, it's almost like that. Now it depends on if you're the type of person that like, look, I need companionship 24/7. I need somebody in my bed next to me every night. If that's you, then of course this is not for you. But if you're someone who's like, I just need a couple of nights with somebody to really treat me like I'm that special one, and then I'm back to doing me. If that's you, this will be a perfect arrangement. And believe it or not, it's a lot of stability in these relationships too. You know pretty much where you stand. It's pretty much going to be up to you. Like I don't think things, as far as I know, I don't think things change. Like all of a sudden they'd be like, well, you know what? It's usually up to the person to be like, look, this is not working for me anymore. The person that's actually kind of coming into the relationship or whatever, it's usually up to them to be like, well, look, I'm not feeling this anymore. But it's a lot of stability in it. As long as people are getting along, long as people, um, as Tonya would say, understand the assignment, then everybody is good to go.
And the thing about polygamy is it's not something new. It's not a new concept. It's not like 21st century that we just discovered polygamy. Cultures have been practicing polygamy for generations and hundreds and thousands of years. It's something that we talk about in modern society as taboo or new or secretive, but it's not something that's new. And it's not something that's necessarily perverted. It's something that people did for practical reasons. Sometimes they did it for community purposes, that you needed more than one wife so that the community could thrive and that each person had their own role in the community, whether, they were taking care of the children or they were tending to the animals or if they were, out in the fields cropping share. I mean, polygamy had its place. There are religions that practice polygamy. And so, although we think about it in a way that maybe it doesn't make sense to us, it's made sense to a lot of people for lots and lots of generations and years. And so I think that it's a perfectly relevant conversation to have in this society that we live in, but we just have to do it in a respectful way. Excuse me. It's not something that people practice to get over on the other person. It's something that they practice because it actually works for their lifestyle. And it's what they're willing to commit of themselves to you and what they're willing to commit of themselves to the other person. And usually each person brings something different to that experience. We might bond or connect on Star Trek or Star Wars, whereas the other couple may connect on Bitcoin and trading stocks, just to use as an example. So, when people pose these questions, there's usually some curiosity, there's usually some interest, and then they really have to assess, am I mature enough to participate in a relationship that looks like this? Because some people aren't mature enough. They're not going to be able to, it's Wednesday and I have to wait till Thursday and they're wondering what y'all are doing. Well, you know what you're doing because it's not your day. They're doing whatever they're doing on their day and it's none of your business. And if you ask them about it, then you're going to mess up the whole vibe and the whole energy of this agreement and this arrangement.
Yeah. And I know we talked about this a while ago, but there was, of course, a podcast was talking about, wives and their responsibilities as far as sex and not getting married. If you don't want to, have, be that person for that guy like every night. We talked about that a little bit. This would be a perfect situation for those women who like, it's cool every now and then, but every night or every couple of nights, if it's once or twice a week, that's my stilo. That's how I get down. That's for you. That might be an arrangement for you.
You know what I thought of regarding it, and I think why it's more popular now. I think if it's the man or the woman, whichever one proposed that option, I think is because of the infidelity rate. As far as, or some people who might not want to be committed. So I think that's why a lot of them choose it. Because I tell you the truth, when I think about it, I'm like, yes, when you want, like McKenna says, if that person want that person with them 24/7, you are in love. This is the person I'm with. This is the only person I want to be with. But then when you bring infidelity in it, and it's like, okay, would I rather know that they are doing that versus not knowing? So I think that's why it's more popular now. And it's so, even being on TikTok, I see a lot of relationships, marriage and dating, that's what they're doing. And they said that they're the happiest that they've ever been because of that. And I guess because it's no sneaking. Where's this individual at, what they're doing. So it's like, okay, this is what I signed up for, so it's good. So there's honesty and there's the respect, and these days is your days. Someone like with me couldn't work. It couldn't, because I'm like, do he like her better than me? Is she, who's the favorite? Me, I'm too sensitive for all that mess. Yeah, I'm too emotional for that. Also, who better? Who you like better? Who do it better? So it's kind of one of those things. So it will have to be someone like you and McKenna said, Marcus, that it was someone who doesn't want to be bothered all the time, or who's like, okay, I get my time when my time is due. I'm good with that. So maybe I think that's why it's so popular now. And these questions, I mean, to be honest, you have to be that type of person that is like whatever. But I throw a little twist in there. So can I do my own thing though? On that Monday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, can I do my thing?
I mean, it just depends on what the agreement is. The premise is that nobody's sneaking. I'm not tiptoeing around you. You're not tiptoeing around me. This is an understanding that we have. We understand that when we're together, we're together. And when we're not together, we're not together. And we're together on Tuesdays and Thursdays. Those are our days for us to be fully engaged with whatever this relationship is. So I think it goes back to that communication, that trust, and that respect, that if this is what we're agreeing to, just like when you agree to get married, part of that agreement is that you're going to love and to honor, to respect, obey, and be faithful to for the rest of your life. That's the contract that you made with each other. This is just a different contract. This contract is not the marriage in the traditional sense that we know or are familiar with or ascribe to. This is a contract that says Tuesday, Thursdays, we're married on Tuesdays and Thursdays. Those are the days that we're married. The rest of the days we're single.
Quick question about that, about being faithful. Does that mean, I'm just asking a general question. Does that mean that being faithful is doing something without your spouse's permission, or just being with another person in general?
Being faithful means different things to different people. Some people feel like all I did was go to the bar, buy her a drink, dance with her, and maybe pay one car note, but I never slept with her, so I didn't cheat. Another person would say, well, you had an emotional relationship with her and an emotional connection, so therefore that's cheating. So that's a great question, about what fidelity is and what that means. And it does mean different things to different people. Some people feel that cheating is purely sexual only.
Well, let's narrow it down to that then. Since we're talking about kind of a polygamous relationship, let's just narrow it down to that. So, is faithful sexually? Is it the act of being sexually with someone else behind your spouse's back, or if you have your spouse's permission, are you still being faithful?
So I would say if you have your spouse's permission, you're not being faithful to the vow of fidelity. You're just having sex with consent. Because a faithful means it's just me and you. And we're not sleeping with other people. If that's what we're defining as faithful, then, it's kind of like how everything else, we just kind of changed the definition. And we create a new definition. American culture is good for that. Look at what happened in the last election and all the terms. Yes is no and no is yes. And anyways, but I just think that we do change definitions. So I would say that, no, you're not being faithful. Now, you might not be sneaking, and your wife or husband may know what you're doing because you've said it out loud, but that's not faithful. That's just cheating with consent. That's how I view it. Because we love to change the definitions. Like hot means cold, and cold means hot, and faithful means unfaithful. We do a good job of stretching definitions and making it fit to the culture. So you kind of have to go back and say, okay, well, what's the definition of faithful for us?
Mhm.
And then whatever that definition for faithful is, is my definition the same as yours? And if it's not, then let's talk about it, where the differences are, so that we understand that if I say, if I believe that faithful is only not sleeping with somebody, and you believe that faithful is, well, you can't also have a work wife or a work husband, and you can't spend more time with a work wife or work husband, but you bought your work husband a whole birthday card and a whole outfit and took him out to dinner, but you went to the Dollar Tree and got my card, but your work husband, y'all done went to Benihana's and did all kinds of things after work. So
That
it's a
work
good
husband paying for lunch every day though.
we talked about that, didn't we? Every day. And hand you some money to go get your nails done on payday, even though y'all both got paid on the same day.
Tonya, what do you think about it?
Exactly what you said. Exactly what you and McKenna just said. I agree.
So the reason why I asked that question is because there are married couples who engage in activities outside of their marriage together. And so I kind of want to get a feel for it, and I hope our listeners can chime in and comment. What's kind of the consensus on faithfulness as far as sex, and probably one of the most famous people or couples that we know of, that we've heard of engaging in activities, probably Will and Jada. And so it's just I guess you have to define what is faithful to you and your spouse. Is faithful, like we talked about, is faithful being that you are doing things behind your spouse's back, or is it faithful being I am still committed to my spouse in every way they want me to, and so but if we engage in something, we're gonna do it as a team, we're gonna do it as a partnership, we're gonna do it together. So if we're not gonna do it together, we're not gonna do it at all. So I just wanted to get a good consensus on that.
And I would just add to that also, when you talk about marriage, are you talking about the legal definition of marriage or that spiritual, religious definition of marriage? And I think that also adds some context to, being faithful, and those different definitions that we have, because, some people just view marriage as a worldly thing where we go to the justice of the peace and, we sign the paper and I'm now your property, etc. But some people hold it in a more spiritual realm where, this is an institution that was ordained by, and this person is the head of, and, God is the head of this person is the head of the family. And so when we talk about being faithful and we talk about honoring our marriage and cheating and things like that, are we talking about it, from the perspective of the world, or are we talking about it from the perspective of whatever our religious beliefs are? Because I think that is also something that is important too, to identify. And then it kind of adds to that definition, because one person may be thinking about faithful from the world's standard, and the other person might not be under the spiritual standard of being holy and reverent and honoring this marriage. And so it's some good conversation that people should have before they change their names or sign the piece of paper, or have the reception.
I just think a lot of people now, why this is so popular out there, is just because of so much infidelity. I think that's why that is another avenue people decide to take, so they can be mentally prepared. So if someone said, "Oh, I saw, Bob at the grocery store with a young lady," you're not surprised, you're not shocked. I think a lot of times that's what people really are trying to avoid, just the honesty and knowing what their spouse or their significant other is doing.
But I think it's difficult to avoid it because we change the rules and we do what we want to do. Like, even if we're in a polygamous relationship and my days are Tuesdays and Thursdays, and then all of a sudden I'm down to Thursday because you met Miss Tuesday. People still do what they want to do, and they hurt other people's feelings because they don't follow the agreement. And I think that although some people may want to use polygamy to insulate themselves from infidelity, I also think that's false because you can still be unfaithful in a polygamous relationship because the polygamous relationship still comes with parameters. And if the person violates whatever those parameters are, and you consider that as cheating or being unfaithful, you're still ending up in that same situation that you were trying to avoid in the first place. But again, polygamy is not new. So people might be trying to superimpose polygamy in their promiscuous lifestyle and call this polygamy when it's really just them wanting to be promiscuous versus understanding what the cultural or the historical context of what polygamy actually was and why people used it and why it was passed down from culture to culture and even different religions. Because we're always trying to shift the definition and we're always trying to do things that gratify ourselves.
McKenna did sum that up. On that note, you summed it up. Kim says faithfulness to me is behaving in the same way that you would have your spouse is presented. It still goes back to what the couple has set as the expectation. And pretty much that's what McKenna says. So yes, Kim, thank you so much for chiming in. But guys, it's 7:57, almost time to go. But listen, are you guys following the news about all of those? Is it trailers in the water because they have no one to get them on the dock to get delivered to the stores? Did you guys hear about that?
I think we mentioned it. Did we mention it last week, or somebody mentioned it? I think.
Well, it's really. I think we could see this in the. Can we see this in the grocery store already? Because I do. You on mute, McKenna, but I see it in the grocery store.
Yeah.
So
Shelves are empty.
Yeah, so if you're
And
planning to cook,
shelves are empty and gas is high.
Yeah, that too. So, guys, if you plan to do a little Thanksgiving gathering with your family and friends, you should be picking up stuff now because it's really it. I use jasmine rice. I buy it from Sam's Club, out of stock. I'm like, what am I going to do?
You're
I
gonna go
can't.
to the Dollar Tree and get that steak.
So we just went back to Dollar Tree and that steak. Just for you, McKenna, I am going to go to the dollar store near me. I am going to see if they have steak in there, and I am going to cook it. I don't say I'm going to eat it. I'm going to cook it. I'm going to see how it turns out. I'm going to see if it's thin like a bologna. That is what I'm going to do. And I'm going to take a picture of it. And I might just do a TikTok on it.
I know that's right. Absolutely.
I'm going to see how that steak from the dollar store is. On that note, stay tuned next week.
Dollar Tree. Dollar Tree. Again, we want to thank all of our listeners for tuning into the Powerhouse Radio every Wednesday. We are so excited to have you, and we look forward to you being with us next week as we celebrate our second anniversary here at the powerhouseradio.com. Let's Gripe. This is McKenna.
This is MG. You're on mute, McKenna.
I see Tony must have dropped out, so we're going to say goodnight for her. We look forward to seeing you back here next Wednesday. Good night, everybody.
Good night. Y'all have a good one now. Be safe.
To